Hey everybody, I'm Todd and this is Sweet Tea Guitars. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel and welcome to the Great Guitar Build Off 2023 and my scratch build entry. Alright you guys, when we left off the other night, I had applied the stain to the top of this guitar. Well, in true Sweet Tea style, I've sanded it all back off. I had another idea. What led me to do this to start with was I could not get a tight line right there where that bevel starts at that hook. I tried everything. Razor blade, files, scraper, sandpaper, various grits, all the way up to 1,000 grit, and I worked and worked and worked and I could not get a clean line. But I've come up with an idea that I think is going to give me an option around this bevel. Not only do I think it's going to look really awesome, it's going to solve that problem back there sanding that hook. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to tape up around this bevel and get this as tight as I can around the line that breaks off the bevel over to the top. Let's get that done first. There's my scalpel, there's some good scissors. Let's get ourselves a new blade out. This is my preferred size of scalpel blade. This is a size 10A. That's a 10A. Experimenting is what I do here, especially on a build that's an odd shaped or something like that. You know, I'm not going for traditional guitar on this particular build. I want to eventually be able to offer my guitars for sale as I build them on YouTube at the end of the series. When I build a new one, I want to say, okay, I'm going to sell this guitar for X amount of dollars if any of you guys are interested. And I would much rather try to start Sweet Tea as a business doing things that way than I had take commissions. You know, I'm not saying I won't take commissions, but I am so into building guitars and I've got so many ideas that I want to do. I'm a little apprehensive about getting knee deep off in someone else's dream, you know what I mean? But if you ever want a Sweet Tea guitar, you are going to get your chance. And that's what all this has been leading to, is getting me to a point to where I feel confident enough that, you know, I can produce an instrument that I'm going to be proud to send to any one of you guys, regardless of what level player you are. We're going to start, like I said, by taping up this bevel. When you're taping up like this, if you want to keep a nice tight line, keep your tape close to the surface and just keep checking your edge. And they make paper fine line, so don't think you have to buy vinyl. You don't. However, vinyl fine line gives you a perfectly sharp fine line if you take your time and do this properly. Another cool thing about vinyl that you can't do with paper, vinyl you can stretch it and bend it any way you want. You guys, I was so frustrated. I had tried to sand that tight right there, and the whole time that hook was getting a little larger. Well, I got to a certain point and I was like, this is not going to happen. I've got to come up with a solution for this that I can turn into something that does not look like a repair. It's looking really good. I don't see where I've crossed over onto the top anywhere. It looks really great. All right, we've got some 50/50 diluted Angelus purple in this bottle. I've got some full strength Angelus purple right here. If you guys need any Angelus supplies, there's a link down below. It'll get you a discount and it helps me out as well. I'm pretty happy with that fade we've got. We might want to bring this darkness on down just a little bit more, and we may want to take some denatured alcohol and suck some of this back out, which we can also accomplish with steel wool. We're going to put some sealer on the back of this body, and we're going to seal the back of the neck. We're going to use the Simtech Easy Sanding Sealer, product number 28x50 or 28 by 50. I'm going to add the hardener. We want to make sure this is good and blended. I've used this Simtech already, and I can tell you guys this stuff is phenomenal. It sands beautifully. It does a great job at filling the grain. They recommend you spray this, but we're going to use this like you would Z-Epoxy. According to the guys at Simtech, you can pretty much top coat this sealer with anything. All right, you guys, we're back in the shop. I saved this tape pull for the video. I thought about this last night, and I'm pretty certain at this point that I'm going to pull this tape off and sand all this finish off and start all over again. But I am anxious to see if I was able to get a tight line. All right, you guys, there is the results of that silver spray out that I did. The concept is there. The method is sound, but I'm not happy with this at all. I won't bore you guys with all the sanding that I'm about to do to this thing to get all this finish back off of this guitar. We'll pick back up when I've got the stain reapplied. It's the Great Guitar Build-Off, and I've said this before. Nothing short of a great guitar is going to make it out of this shop. I just can't allow it. This is too important to me. It matters too much to me. I'll see you guys in a little while. All right, you guys, a few hours have passed. I've got the stain put back on here. I'm really happy with the color once again, even though I ended up thinking that this burgundy wine red in this middle area actually looks better than the bright red did. I started thinking about the Kuiper Alpha and how cool that guitar turned out with that metal leaf on it. So I've decided I'm going to silver leaf the maple part of this bevel on this guitar. So we're going to go with silver as compared to gold like I did on the Kuiper, because I think silver is going to look better with this purple color. Anyway, let's get this thing taped up and get this put on here. Wherever this ends up, this is what this guitar is going to look like. You know, I don't want to waste hardware on a substandard guitar, so I'm going to do my best. Don't get me wrong on that. I just know I don't want to sand all this finish off again. 3 times is enough, I think. I need this nice and tight. All right, you guys, we're going to put this leafing size on here now. The things we do for love, you guys. Now, let's go down this side. I'm actually thinking this is going to be really cool. All right, let's take a brush. Just get rid of this excess. I spent about the last hour and a half or so putting this tape back on these lines again. I wanted to be super accurate. I took my time. I cleaned this silver really good where I've laid it already. I want to put another layer of silver leaf on there so I get that nice chrome punch. My old silver leaf, which I've had for like 3 years, first of all, I couldn't get it to separate from the papers, like it was stuck a little. Well, once I got it laid on the bevel, I started noticing these tiny little pinholes in it. I think it's oxidized a little bit or whatever and gotten some holes in it. Anyway, I've got some new stuff. I also took the opportunity while I was looking for some new silver leaf to get myself some proper gold leaf adhesive. So this is from LA Gold Leaf, which so is this this silver leaf I ordered. This is proper oil-based gold leafing size right here. Anyway, I've got a couple of brushes out. I poured myself some of that stuff in this bottle. I felt like it'd be easier to deal with in that bottle. So I don't run the risk of getting this size down in under this tape right here. I'm going to do this area and this area right here where these tight bends are. I'm going to do those first. Let's just jump straight into it, you guys. I've been excited about this. I did not know if this size is going to get here in time, but luckily Amazon came through for me. The Kuiper Alpha, you guys remember that guitar, the red one. That guitar turned out so sweet. The clear coat worked out really good on that guitar, right on top of the gold leaf. I didn't have any issues with it whatsoever. So far, I'm pretty happy. I don't see any major areas of concern. All right, you guys, it's been about 45 minutes or so. I did hit this with a heat gun briefly. Chrome bevels, I love it. I'm not going to pull this tape off of here immediately. Most people recommend that you let the actual adhesive dry before you pull the tape line off. So I'm going to follow that advice. I don't want to mess this up. Anyway, I can't really do anything else to it until tomorrow. So as you can see, it's gleaming. This is going to be really, really cool. Here's where we left off last night. I had applied the second layer of silver leaf. We're about to pull this tape off of here, find out what our results are going to be, and you guys will have to wait till next time to see this thing glossed finished. I really don't want to go too much longer before I release another video, and if I get into the finishing process on this thing, it's going to make it way longer. First of all, the video is going to be really long. I'm going to have so much footage to deal with to try to get this cut down to a reasonable length. But secondly, I want to kind of treat the clear coat, level sanding, polishing, all that stuff. I want to treat that as its own things. Anyway, we'll peel the top edge off first, and I want to be so careful with this. So far, so good, you guys. That looks really clean and nice. Nice clean line on both sides of my bevels. I've got a little touch-up work to do, and then I've got a little cleanup that I need to do right there outside of that back hook. I'm going to spray this thing with 3 coats of sealer. Spray those 3 coats on here, let it dry overnight. I'll come down tomorrow, check our results, make sure my grain's hidden well. We'll level sand that, starting at 800, go up to 1,000. If I need to, I'll spray 3 more coats of sealer on here tomorrow night. I'm absolutely planning on assembling this guitar in the next 2 weeks. It should be finished by then. I know this took forever, and believe me, this was a labor of love and a quest for uniqueness. You know, I wanted this guitar as unique as I know how to make one, and I'm really satisfied and convinced at this point that I have done just that. I feel like this is a really unique guitar. I really appreciate you guys watching the videos. Thank you so much for all your support. Don't forget to head over to Gio's channel, Tornella Guitars, here on YouTube. Check out Gio's latest build. It's beautiful. He and I are getting ready to start a new series here on YouTube. We're going to do a collaboration, but it's something different. We'll talk to you guys about it shortly as soon as we get the details hammered out. I can't wait to start that, and I can't wait for the next video for the Ceres Theta. Until then, as always, peace and love.